What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome to another video. Welcome to the channel where we talk a lot about politics as well as the entertainment industry, because you and I know that the entertainment industry is driven with a lot of politics as well as the access media too. Anyways, you guys, today we are going to be spotlighting She-Hulk and what is happening with their diversity quotas and how they are treating certain people of color, particularly black people, right? So the reason why I am highlighting this is because Disney has been on for the last couple of years about how they want diversity in their programming, about how people can't see themselves in their program unless they see people of the same color as them. So I wouldn't be able to relate to a program unless I see myself in it. This is what Hollywood has been telling us. This is what the access media has been telling us, that we couldn't definitely possibly relate to it, e.g. Lord of the Rings, that a person like me wouldn't be able to have access to Lord of the Rings until I see black people on Lord of the Rings. That the old Lord of the Rings, no, those ones are terrible. No, those ones were racist. But the new one is diverse. And because it is diverse, a person like me will be more attentive. Well, I am more attentive, and I am looking at She-Hulk right now, and what I am seeing them do with people that quote and unquote look like me, it ain't it. It ain't it at all. And what brought my attention to this was a week ago, we had a big announcement, big announcement about She-Hulk, that one of the most powerful women, or a strong black female person, was going to be guest starring on that episode, was going to be showing up on that episode by the name of Meghan Thee Stallion. And a lot of people got excited. Meghan Thee Stallion is going to be on the show. We saw a lot of promotions. You saw Meghan Thee Stallion probably signing some papers alongside She-Hulk. And so, given the fact that She-Hulk had been told that she's going to be the face of a certain law firm company that, defends superheroes, specifically, that's the reason why she was hired, to defend superheroes or anti-heroes.
Started a superhuman law division, and I want the She-Hulk to be the face of it.
Well, you would have thought that Meghan Thee Stallion was going to play a key role. A strong black female is going to play a superhero or an anti-hero. Very significant role. But until I watched the episode 3, that all the noise was all about. And in the full episode, Meghan Thee Stallion altered one sentence in one sentence alone.
That's right. There's only one Megan Thee Stallion.
I kid you not. That's all she said. Now, in the post-credit scene, which is the scene that has been seen around the world, in the post-credit scene, she could be seen after signing some papers alongside She-Hulk, specifically, not Jennifer Lawrence, bear this in mind, signing some papers, and then shortly after she was twerking, and the boss went over to the office, sees them twerking, has this weird look on his face, and was like, a look of disgust, in my opinion, and just walked away. Now, basically, this is very symbolic to these people, as Tatiana Maslany, the lady that plays, or the actress that plays the role of She-Hulk, or Jennifer Walters, was so excited about that scene because she was twerking alongside Meghan Thee Stallion, and she, I quote you now, said that this is the best scene ever. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, that is the best scene ever. Now, it is always funny how these people put a huge importance when it comes to black people being the butt of a joke. And this time around, literally, this black woman was the butt of the joke. But when you also look at the other side of things, twerking inappropriately at an inappropriate time is something that is not supposed to be desirable by any shape or form. But when it comes to black people doing it, you would always find white liberals and all other liberals praise them and say, you go girl, you do that, you twerk, but they never would. A typical example would be about a month ago, a senator from Rhode Island by the name of Tiara Mack actually posted on Twitter a video of herself on the beach standing upside down and twerking. Man, oh man, that scene. anyways, you guys, she got a lot of backlash from black people because black people did not like the idea of their representative coming out there to twerk her behind and then asking for votes. But of course, who does she get support from? White liberals. The only people I found online on the internet that were defending her were white liberals. One particularly said, hold your head up high so your crown doesn't tilt, girl. You know, you go, girl, and things like that. Whereas other black people were full of criticism. I mean, some black people who deem themselves as foundational black Americans who are by no shape or form conservatives, we are saying, this is not our representative. She's Caribbean. We don't want to have anything to do with her because what she did while asking for votes is inappropriate. But then again, when it came to TYT, that is access media for liberals that are liberal shields, leftist shield, they were praising her for being brave and stunning.
Queer state lawmaker in Rhode Island by the name of Tiara Mack has sent fragile right-wingers into a tizzy after she posted what I would argue is a fun video of herself twerking on a beach. Now, before we hear what conservative prudes had to say about the fun video, which I'm sure they watched over and over and over again, here's the video in question.
Vote Senator Mack.
No, that's amazing. Like, I'm always impressed by that. I don't know how people do it. And look, a headstand does take some talent.
Yeah, no, guys, this is actually an important story. Okay, I'll tell you why. Because that's a Democrat.
Yes.
For the first time in my lifetime, we're getting Democrats who are unafraid.
No, and not only unafraid, unapologetic.
Yeah.
And unapologetic mostly. But then again, while they were doing that, Anna Kaspiran said that, I don't know how people do that. And by I don't know how people do that, she means she doesn't know how black people do that. But she cannot go ahead and say she doesn't know how black people do that because that would make her a racist. So she just said, I don't know how people do that, but she never encouraged white people to do that. This is very emblematic of what white liberals have been doing for the longest of times that I have seen. They have been defending any bad attitude or bad things that are counterproductive to black people. They have been defending them for doing it. A couple of years back when there were riots over the George Floyd incidents, a black police officer said every time he tried to address black people to talk about why they shouldn't be going out rioting or whatnot, there's always a white liberal that jumps in between him and those black people and says, you can't talk to him, you can't talk to him, you can't talk to him. Black people should be above reproach. Why? Because those activities are destructive to black people. Now, am I saying there's anything wrong with twerking? Absolutely not. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with twerking. What I'm saying is that there is a time and a place for certain activities. Twerking is not meant for the office, but specifically Disney wanted this part to air. They wanted to make a whole lot of noise about it because they wanted to push an agenda towards black people. Once again, reaffirming bad behavior. Anytime it's something that happens to do with good behavior, they will tell you that those good behaviors, those good traits like listening, like paying attention, like being professional about your work or how you go about things, they'll tell you that that's white supremacist. But when it comes to you twerking or doing all sorts of crazy stuff as a black person, they'll tell you no. You go, girl, slay queen, slay mama. You do this. That's the reason why they brought Meghan Thee Stallion onto the show. They needed somebody who was popular enough that when she did what she did, that it will get enough attention to reaffirm bad behavior amongst black people. Now, some of you might think that I'm overreaching with this, but take a look at the whole show from episode 1 to episode 3. Tell me what significant thing has a black person done on this show other than being the butt of a joke, even though those jokes weren't funny. Let's take, for instance, the first scene in the bathroom where we had 3 black women and 1 white girl as a token girl in that bathroom saw a woman who had blood on her shirt, who had, dusty face or something like that, looked like something had happened to her, and all they could think of is, who did this to you? And then they started dressing her up and then putting makeup on her, and one of the black women said, you need some shoes, that's supposed to be funny. And this is the part that the writer the writer of this show said, and the showrunner of this show said that that was the most important part of the show. That was the most important part of the show, where a black person is doing something that is absolutely stupid. Now, I've been in a scenario where I was in a party where one of my friends had an injury on his face. Nobody knew how he got it because he was drunk. And I don't think he got into a fight because we didn't see anybody fight with him. But all we heard was a loud noise. We ran into the living room where he was because we were outside while the party was going on, and we saw he had a bloodied face. The first thing that came to mind was, call the ambulance. We got the ambulance in, they got him treated, and they got him cleaned up. But these women, the first thing that came to their mind is, the person that did this to you doesn't deserve you. Rather than actually finding out how hurt is she, does she need the ambulance, or does she need to call the police in case the person is still lurking around the area? How stupid is that? And that's how they think of black people. Doing dumb shit are good for nothing else but being butt of the joke. The next time you see a black person on the show was when She-Hulk was actually getting catcalled or somehow being called by a couple of men, and one of them happened to be black. And he was saying, we're only trying to be nice to you. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, unprovoked, she changes into the She-Hulk, scares the living crap out of the guy, and the guy makes a silly face and hugs the other white guy in fear before She-Hulk gets tackled by the Incredible Hulk himself. Anyways, you guys, that guy was there simply for insignificant reason of being the butt of a joke, once again, showing a scary face. Now, some of you might say, what about on the panel when Emil Bronski was actually facing a panel for parole? And some of you would say, well, on the panel, there was a black woman on that panel. But what was her role? What was the main thing she was put on the panel for? To show massive fear. At the time that Emil Bronski turned into the abomination, she went, "Ah! What the hell is that?" Like they hadn't seen it before. They had seen it plenty of times. They had seen it being shown on the screen. They knew Emil Bronski had this power and could do it at any point in time. So what was the point of the fear? Well, just to be the butt of a joke. It's unfortunate that those jokes and what they try to push in the entire comedy were not funny. The comedy wasn't funny at all. And like I said before, I wouldn't have noticed any of these things, but because these niches, people like me, will not be able to associate or relate to movies or series that are being produced if it is not diverse enough. I am starting to notice, Disney, I'm starting to notice what you're doing to the so-called diverse cast. And this is very emblematic of what the liberals do. They do nothing but virtual signal that we are hiring a lot of people. Even the White House did it lately. And guess what happened? They hired a whole lot of black people, but gave them insignificant roles, which led to what you call Blaxit. You can read all about it. 21 staffers that are black left the White House about 2 or 3 months ago. All of them coming out, and some of them that coming out to say they wanted to go get more education. Who leaves a job at the White House to go get more education, for goodness sake? But others secretly said anonymously that they were leaving because they had zero significant role and they were just hired because of the color of their skin. This is what is wrong with diversity. This is the problem that we have with the so-called diversity and inclusion, because it is more detrimental to those people these woke revolutionaries actually are claiming that they want to protect. These are my thoughts regarding this. Let me know what your thought is. Why do you think that they brought Meghan Thee Stallion to the show? Because in the first instance, She-Hulk is not white, because She-Hulk was twerking with her. They could have got Jennifer Walters to twerk with her. She-Hulk had no business signing any papers with her because she's not a superhero. She was playing herself on the show. So why was she signing papers with She-Hulk? If she was signing papers with Jennifer Walters in Jennifer Walters' home, that would have been more appropriate for the scene. But no, they had to have her do it in the office. And just so you guys know exactly how a lot of black people feel about this, let me play you this clip real quick of this black woman complaining about black women being above reproach. Take a look.
Black women are above criticism right now. And I don't know why that is or where it came from, but it needs to stop, because this is why you're seeing us run amok, and it's not helpful. This is why Black women can be shaking their ass in a restaurant, and when the owner tries to correct them, they go and ruin his Yelp review. This is why Joe Biden could have spoken to any woman in America that he wanted to, but he talked to Cardi B, who could barely string a sentence together, but no one wanted to say anything because she's a Black woman. This is why you have single Black women having children, having child after child, but no one wants to say anything as she screams, "I don't need a man," while she teaches your daughters these same values and raise your sons to be gangbangers and no one wants to say anything to Black women.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. Ding that bell for notification. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace. And Si's out of here. Bye-bye now.